Hello, welcome to Wombled. So I've just done a video about a Viking cemetery, and that's literally just over this hill behind me. But now I'm going to go and look at a church, and it's a very, very special church. I'm not going to spoil it until we get down there, and let me give you a clue. I'm going to need my wellies on. This is the River Trent in front of me. If you know the area, you probably know what this is. But I'm hoping I can get down there. If not, I'll have to sort of get the drone up and get as close to it as I can that way. But I'm not going to spoil the surprise. Wait until we get down there and I'll show it to you. So when I'm walking now, you can see this flat sort of landscape around me. This is where the River Trent used to come over. And so I've been literally in the river itself, but it's over the past couple of 100 years and whatever, it's moved about, it's probably been managed a bit more and whatever. But it used to come up against these cliffs here. And in these cliffs is a church, would you believe it? It's not a church as, you know, like a big fancy church that you'd see in the village or whatever, but it's actually built out of the rocks. So I've never seen it, so I'm just going to go and have a look for it. And it's very peaceful down here. Right, I'm seeing. So this is where the river used to lap up against at one point. You can almost see the shorelines. Yeah, interesting. But in here somewhere, somewhere in here, you can see there would have been a stream or a tributary coming down to the Trent at one point. Straight through there. But that's completely gone now. Where are we? Somewhere in these cliffs, apparently, there are some caves. Okay, opens out a little bit more here. When I was looking at this online, it said I might need wellies, but it's actually really not that bad. It is winter as well. Okay, look at this now. Wow. So this is what would have actually directed the River Trent at the time when it was up here. This big rock outcrop here. Look at that. Look at that tree growing out of there. Wow. Wow. And you can actually see the deposits. Look at this. Wow. Look at that. The way the flint nodules and the various stones and things are trapped in the limestone. Look at that. Wow. Wow. Look at these roots. This is its poo hole. Yeah, look at that. That's interesting. Interesting. But it's not my church, is it? Let's carry on. It opens up a bit here. I mean, it's supposedly a touristy thing. Type thing. Oh, I don't know. This has collapsed not long ago, look, from the top. Buzzard over there somewhere. Here we go, is this it? Right. So, I think this must be it. This is what's known as Anchor Church. And it was used by a very strict... Okay, so this isn't it. This is just a cave. Look, the kids coming here. Wow. Look at this. Wow. This isn't the church, but look at this. Wow. Wow. You'd feel safe in here, wouldn't you? Especially if the water was still up here. So it'd be a good place to hide out from the... See the lads come up here. People come up here. Carve their names in. We see that everywhere, don't we? But yeah, this is very interesting stratigraphy. So, it must be around this corner then. So, where is it? Because it isn't just that. That is a beautiful cave. Aha! Across the ways, look. This is interesting. So this was it's a great big bit of a valley, isn't it? It would have fed this whole area, look. Wow. And I can see a notice board over there. And that'll probably tell you more than I'll ever tell you. That's not true. It'll tell you some bits that I might forget. Let's have a look. It's absolutely beautiful out here. It's a little bit industrial. You've got the cooling towers for one of the power stations over there, but here we go. Oh right, okay, this is why I need my boots. Anchor Church is a unique monument. The dwelling place of the exiled King Ardwulf of Northumbria, Anchor Church dates to the early 9th century. It is the earliest intact domestic dwelling from Anglo-Saxon England. Really? Okay, fair enough, yeah, I suppose so if you think about it. Earliest intact domestic dwelling from Anglo-Saxon England. Ardwulf is remembered as St Hardulf and is believed to be buried at Breedon on the Hill, which is where I might go later, depending on how much time I've got. The exiled Ardwulf became a monk and along with some faithful retainers moved to Mercia and created the caves that we now know as Anchor Church sometime around 810 BC. No, AD. Why would Common Era? Additional wooden structures would have connected to the outside to house servants, store food and perhaps to keep livestock. The sockets for the wooden beams for these are still visible. Interesting. The arched rooms at the east would have been the chapel area with other rooms or cells for living and sleeping in. Although the caves are as they appear to us today, they've been much modified over the centuries and there are some surviving Anglo-Saxon features, including the small arched doorways and the pilaster cap. A pilaster is a rectangular non-structural column with a purely decorative function. The larger internal doorways were probably created in the late 18th century when the site was used by Robert Burdett of Foremark Hall as a rustic picnicking site for friends and family. The doors would have been enlarged to suit gentlewomen's dresses from the period and internal walls demolished to create larger internal spaces. The external windows were enlarged at this time to allow more lighting, and the brickwork along the windowsills also dates to this time. Early photographs show that the eastern entrance did not exist until the 20th century, okay, and that a sandstone block curb ran along the edge of the backwater, this bit here, the backwater being the bit that's left over when the river moves, creating a landing stage to allow small boats and punts to moor alongside the church. By comparing the images with the monument itself, we can see that the windows have been further enlarged over the course of the 20th century. The original medieval windows would have been even smaller still, just enough to allow in some light, but small enough to keep out as much wind and weather as possible. Right. Yes, so this is why I needed my wellies. Well, okay. So this, as we've just seen, is Anchor Church. Yep, definitely needed wellies. And so this is a backwater. So what a backwater is obviously is where the river used to come over. It's moved on, it's moved a little bit now, and this is what's left over. But I think, yeah. Right, so this is part of it then, is it? I didn't bring a torch. I knew I was coming into a cave today, and I didn't even bring a torch. have to get my phone out and see if I can get some light. I don't know. No, that doesn't go anywhere. Okay. Interesting. I'm actually on my way to Nottingham today to look at something, actually to get something done to the car, but wow, what a place. Ah, here we go. This is it, isn't it? This is it. Wow. Look at this. Oh, wow. How amazing. So, Anchor Church. So, anchorites were a sort of very religious type of hermit. Anchor from the Greek to move away or to separate from. And they locked themselves in here and essentially became saints in their own lifetimes. Look at this. Wow. The views over there. You imagine looking back in Anglo-Saxon times, though, it would have been very different. Look at this. Wow. Wow. Yeah, like it says, the windows have been opened up now. They'd have been much smaller. And then in the 18th century, used by the local lord, the landowner, as a place where you would entertain. You can understand why, can't you? Look at this. Wow. 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 And again, it's got this really strange. You can have see they have lots of fire. Sorry, it's got these layers of stratigraphy. But yeah, look how black this is, and that's over centuries as well. You know, I know we can see some modern graffiti, but people have been in here since the 700s, and so this is a whole. Is that what it said there? It said on the little thing, didn't it, that there was like plug holes for holding something. Should have paid more attention. But yeah, look at the dates on here. Wow. You imagine sitting back here in, before the Normans turned up, before the Vikings turned up, and carving your name in. I don't know whether you'd actually have a concept of the date back then, would you? Of the year. Wow. Look at this. Yeah, man. And it's spoilt by those blooming great big things in the distance there, isn't it? Yeah, but how peaceful. Let's see if there's any more further round. I might be missing. Okay, no, there's just another thing that tells us what it is, I think. Yeah. Wow, how interesting. Yeah. And there's public footpaths everywhere. Yeah, it's just the same thing. There's public footpaths everywhere to actually get yourself down here. It's well worth a look. It's beautiful today, but I imagine in spring and summer it's absolutely stunning. This is interesting stuff, isn't it? This is what they quarry round here, isn't it? It's the gravel and the sand. Same up in Northamptonshire, where I'm from, I suppose. But this is laid down as a rock, isn't it? Whereas up where we're from, you'd have to blast that, I suppose, wouldn't you? Anyway, what am I talking about? Yeah, and it's overlaid with a much thicker layer of limestone. Anyway, Anchor Church in Ingleby in Derbyshire. I think I'm in Derbyshire, yeah, I'm still in Derbyshire. What an amazing place. What an amazing place, look at that. Don't want to fall in the river. But yeah, look at that. What a place. Wow. So, I suppose that's it really. I just wanted to show you this. I've never seen it before and it is an amazing place. If you like the video, please like, please comment, please subscribe, do all those things. And I'll see you on the next one. Thanks a lot. Bye bye.